Namaste. First of all, my apologies. The session got delayed. And this is one of the most important sessions. While we were curating this festival, our team was sitting and we were having a Google Meet meeting. तो चर्चा उसमें ये हुआ कि पब्लिशर्स को हम बुला रहे हैं, पब्लिशर्स के साथ हम लोग कोलैबोरेट कर रहे हैं, क्या हम लोगों को उनके रिप्रेजेंटेटिव्स को बुलाना चाहिए या नहीं बुलाना चाहिए. तो थॉट केम कि कुछ इश्यूज़ हैं क्योंकि 3 of us, the founding directors and our team, which comprise of around 15 peoples, 2 of us have written books. I have authored 2 books. My friend Om has authored a couple of books. It was published by NBT. The idea was the issues which we faced. I have written a very politically sensitive book. तो जब मैं publishers को approach किया तो जो issues I faced, तो we thought कि why don't we call people here and ask them. क्योंकि जब किसी को आप email करते हो अपने script के साथ, manuscript के साथ, तो उस time पे सवाल जवाब नहीं हो पाता है. तो I thought this is an opportunity for me to bring representatives of publishing houses here and then kind of question them. So being as an advocate, I'm trained to cross-examine people, but I won't be doing that. But there are certain questions, and we also have some time constraint, so I will be just directing direct questions. My first question revolves around a session which we had yesterday. It was agents of change, authors as agents of change. So when I say author, and what I interpret author as, author is not just an individual. Author is a whole, it comprises of whole ecosystem, which is behind that particular individual. And that ecosystem is of publishing houses, and also of marketing agencies who market the work of author. So my question to you, sir, first. What is the role to make an author agent of change, as per you?
Thank you, Shivam, and a warm afternoon to everyone who's present. A big congratulations is due to the entire team of Puri Literary Festival, especially Om, Shivam, and Shashank. So one of the reasons, when I got this invitation, I said, yes, I will come, is because of the names of these 3 people. So there is Om, there is Shiv, and there is Chandrama. जब Om, Shiv और Chandrama है तो मना कैसे करें? So I think this is a very potent combination which is due for much greatness. And the way I have seen the event being conducted over the past couple of days, I know that they are in the right direction, and as a beginning, this is a fantastic opening, and I wish you all the very best for the future, and all best wishes to the team. So now coming to your question, so the ecosystem thing that you were saying, see that publishers and authors, it has to be a team effort, right? So it's like if you have to complete a run, you need 2 runners. Essentially, what is becoming a big constraint for publishing is the advent of so many other forms of content consumption. Content is consumed in various ways. So, strangely enough, for publishers, the biggest competition is not other publishers. So, my competition is neither Megha nor Vidhi. My competition is actually OTT. My problem is that the attention span of people is becoming so limited that they are not willing to invest that kind of time in reading a book. They would rather, earlier people used to buy books at airports and at railway stations. That's gone. Railway station bookshop shut down completely. Airport displays are also very expensive for people to make enough money to sustain themselves. So this ecosystem that we are talking about is something where, it's eventually commercial, right? So we have to survive. A publisher has to survive selling books, and that's our only way to earn money. So we are also constrained in the ways we select books, we then put out books, and then the bigger constraint comes, and all publishers have the same pain point. as to how to get enough media or publicity around it. Because when you approach, a media house or, even supposing, I mean, खुदा ना खास्ता कि social influencer कर रहे हैं, तो पहले बोलेगा भैया पैसे कितने दे रहे हो? आप रिव्यू करने के लिए मांग रहे हो, लेकिन पैसा कितना दे रहे हो? तो what is the kind of budget you have is predetermining many of the things that you're doing as publishers or the books that you're commissioning. So आप काफ़ी चीज़ें होती हैं जो हम लोग करना चाहते हैं, काफ़ी किताबें होती हैं जो हम लोग मतलब दिल से करना चाहते हैं लेकिन कर नहीं पाते हैं, बिकॉज हमें लगता है कि ये किताब के ऊपर हम लोग इतना एफर्ट डालते हैं, इतना खर्चा होता है, सब कुछ होता है, सब कुछ पूरा हमारा पूरा इकोसिस्टम जो काम करता है, लेकिन उस हिसाब से अगर आपका सेल नहीं होता है तो फिर वो कंपनी के लिए टाइम, एनर्जी सारा लॉस हुआ, तो वो एक पब्लिशर के लिए एक कंस्ट्रेंट होगा. बट आई थिंक दिस क्वेश्चन, नॉट जस्ट मी, आई थिंक अदर पीपल ऑन द पैनल ऑल्सो नीड टू काइंड ऑफ आंसर दिस, बिकॉज दिस इज अ पेन पॉइंट फॉर एवरीवन कि क्या करें. और ऑथर्स हम लोग काफ़ी लोग चाहते हैं, जैसे आपने कहा कि आपकी किताब कंट्रोवर्शियल है, बिल्कुल है. पब्लिशर्स लेंगे, घबराएंगे. क्यों घबराएंगे? क्योंकि 5 लोग खड़े हो जाएंगे, केस कर देंगे. तो किताब आने से पहले इंजंक्शन अगर किसी ने ले लिया तो फिर हुआ क्या? वो जंगल में मोर नाचा किसने देखा? किसी ने देखा नहीं ना. तो अगर वो किसी ने देखा नहीं तो किसी को फायदा नहीं होगा. तो इसीलिए पब्लिशर के भी कंस्ट्रेंट्स होते हैं. उसी दायरे में रहकर हम लोगों को फिगर आउट करना पड़ेगा कि किस तरह से हम लोग सब मिलकर काम कर सकते हैं.
कमर्शियल पॉइंट इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट, क्योंकि देयर इज ऑफिस टू रन, देयर आर पीपल हु यू हैव टू पे ऑन फर्स्ट ऑफ एवरी मंथ. You would like to...
About this commercial point, I think everyone other than publishers feel that we are making a lot of money. Like the authors feel we are making a lot of money, so they want more. The bookstores, they charge for space and everything. They feel we are making money. Again, it's the question of who's making money, but certainly not the publishers. So yeah.
No, publishers are doing way more than that. But to survive, we need money. Ultimately, everything comes down to that. So,
I mean, I agree, absolutely. Publishers are not making money. They're not making sales. And just to draw on what Dibakar was saying, our main sort of the rivalry isn't like us. It's us versus Instagram Reels. It's us versus OTT. It's us versus increasingly diminishing attention spans. But the thing is, he was also talking about publicity and social media and how to keep the books in people's conscience. And strangely enough, social media does lend itself to this, because you do have things like booktubers now. You do have things like bookstagrammers who, I mean, they do make a song and dance about the book. They do sort of, even for like very small amount of time, do bring it to people's feeds, because that's where most of your marketing is happening these days. It's true, like newspapers, I mean, you do have reviews and all, but the book comes out, say, in May, your review might come in August, and by then the window's gone. But yeah, I mean, I do think social media does have its perils, especially when it comes to like shortening people's reading spans and even reading tastes, to be fair. But it's not all doom and gloom, because, I mean, they're also, like you were talking about authors being agents of change, right? A lot of times they don't even realize what like their agents of change. You discover so many people who have like such interesting things to say on social media. I know I have. I know I've commissioned whole books based on like one tweet someone's posted. And it's possible. It's a give and take relationship. It has its ups and downs, but like that's true of all businesses and all relationships, right?
Namaskar. As far as making money is concerned, let me accept it. I make money out of publishing company in Odisha, good money. And I have engaged at least 20-25 persons in my publishing company. And every year we are giving royalties to our Odia authors also. I'll come to the OTT and cinema things. Sir was telling about that. everywhere. In regional language also, cinema, OTT, not only OTT, television, mobiles, other things, everything is now coming as a contender or competitor to books. But there is one solution that what we are doing it now in Odia language, as a Odia publisher, also as an author, to make a new generation who will read. So you have to focus on children writings. If my son, if my daughter will not read Odia, my children, they are studying in English medium school. But I make them read Odia books, and I make them feel proud about their language. We have a language with more than 25 centuries of history. We are a classical language, much before of English. Okay. So I make them feel proud about my language so that when you will give them two books, one in English, one in Odia, they will not feel apologetic picking the Odia book. That's how we can make a generation who will read Odia books or any language. So we are now focusing on children literature. That is the only hope to make this business further.
When it comes to, I will pose this question to ma'am, but before this, there's one important point. Although you're talking that there's not much money in it, but you see, there are many influencers who became influencers who has following of millions, but they ultimately write a book. So that is the kind of reputation which books and publishing houses have built. So the person gets famous on social media, he gets tens of millions of followers, then that person writes books, and then that person wants to become an intellectual. Then he or she wants to be come in media not just as an entertainer or not just an influencer, but as an intellectual.
They want that respect. They want that respect from.
So that is the kind of work you have been doing from several years. So yes, money is an aspect. So these people are making money, but they then come back to you to publish their.
No, but that's a secret, right? So we are also approaching these social media influencers, people who rule the social media, because for us it's easy sales, right? So someone has 1 million followers. So let's say 2% of them buy, we have a bestseller. As simple as that. So it's reciprocal. It's symbiotic. It is symbiotic. And what Subhransu ji said about children's literature, you are absolutely right. And I think Megha here leads Red Panda. We have a children's division, and we have seen exponential growth in that market. And that is what I think is very encouraging. What you're saying is absolutely right, because for the longest period, our print runs in publishing have been stagnating. Our MRPs are the same they used to be, roughly the same 10 years ago. How do you sustain a business with the same MRP? Because the reader is not willing to pay more money to buy a book. So with the same constraints, we are having to function. So I think there is hope. Like you said, absolutely there is hope. And children, hopefully, our print runs will go up because of them. So yeah, I mean, let the population go higher and higher. Sorry.
So now we are not talking out, even in the public discourse, we are not saying ki kam bacche kariye. Now there are leaders which are saying, and I also firmly believe कि OD population का नहीं है. So we are hopeful कि अब बच्चों वाली किताबें पढ़ेंगे. But I am coming to that question कि आज इतना competition है, OTT से competition है. So we have to do something out of the box to attract people and come and read book. So लोग 20 सेकंड की रील देख रहे हैं, 30 सेकंड की रील देख रहे हैं, 60 सेकंड की 1 मिनट की रील भी लोग नहीं देख रहे हैं. तो they just want to skip it, ऊपर लेके जा रहे हैं. तो what kind of things which you guys are doing, या आप कुछ प्लान कर रहे हैं कि इस तरह का हम कुछ कर पाएँ, कुछ बड़ा कर पाएँ, जिससे लोग अट्रैक्ट हों. We can start from children's book.
Yeah, sure. So children's is seeing in India, the children's literature market is at a cusp of a big revolution. Things are changing. There is finally, the adult market is also realizing that the volume of sales can be really high in children's, because parents, they may not be reading themselves, but every parent wants to buy, whether the child wants to read or not. The parent wants to buy. So that's where, that little soft spot is, that the sales are, going to increase in that bit. But as publishers, we need to really reinvent how we have been doing stories. We need to reinvent how a story is written, how it's captured. Things like moral stories, parents insist on those even today, that moral stories, this is a short. But will your child read? I don't think so. It is the way you package it which makes all the difference. So though our primary customer or client is the parent, it is the children we need to cater to. Visual medium has become much more. They're not thinking as much, which was the whole purpose of books earlier, but they need visual things. So books are becoming more visually led. Comics, for example, is graphic novels and comics. It's come in a big way because of this fact only, that visual medium is driving the change. And for reluctant readers, to get people into reading, books need to be visually more appealing. The content needs to be shorter. And these are some things that we are trying to make it more. So we are putting much more brain into creating books now than ever, because we need readers. We need them to read, and not be a book that parents got it and it's languishing in the bookshelf. So yeah, these are some things that we are doing at our end.
Adding to this, the question which I asked and what you answered, so I would like you guys to answer how much has Kindle format has changed it? Has it contributed much? Because I bought a Kindle, but I don't read in it. To be very frank.
Yeah, actually, Kindle hasn't been as big, like ebooks aren't as big as people thought they would be, right? So when like the Kindle thing first happened, everyone was like, oh, print books, they could like go in. Absolutely not the case. I don't think it's ever going to be the case. We have been romanticizing books for donkey's years now, like the smell of the pages, and like it's fresh, it's not physical books are not going anywhere. People are always on the screen. To replace that with another screen, I mean, why people read books is often just to like, hey, I don't want to look at a screen, right? My eyes are hurting. Physical books are going nowhere. I mean, Kindles are great, very good to buy, like say imported editions of things, because the ebooks are cheaper, but no. And in terms of what publishers are doing to sort of make people read more, what she said is right in terms of making things visually more appealing. You hear people say don't judge a book by its cover. Absolute lie. People are judging books by their cover.
Completely.
Like, I mean, think about it. There are a million books on the shelf. Your eyes are going to get drawn to the prettiest one. That's what you're going to like go and like touch open, whatever. That's how you're going to want to engage with it. That's how you first engage with it. So first impressions matter a lot, yeah? So yeah, and again, because of Reels, because of OTT, attention spans are far shorter than they used to be, which also means shorter books. Books which are, say, 200 pages, early 200 pages, 200, 250 pages, ideal length. People are not going to read beyond that. And honestly, like, in terms of marketing them better, just make reels about them. If you can't beat them, join them. So how we market books also has changed substantially. Like reviews, yes. But reviews in newspapers, again, like who's going out and like searching for them, right? As opposed to like 5 people posting about the book and it turning up when you're scrolling.
There are several Instagram people, when my first book came, so they were messaging me on Instagram that we'll review it, this is our rate chart.
Yeah. I mean, not all of them are like that, is my understanding. Yeah, but
These are all perils of.
yeah. I mean, but I mean, make reels about them, make relevant reels about them. Don't just put any trending song. But I mean, at some point you have to give in a little bit, right? If only to like get your book out there. So yeah.
I'll come to the MRP part. 25 years back when I was in college, the movie ticket was 12 rupees or 16 rupees. Now we're paying 500 to 1000 rupees to watch one movie. In Odisha, my publishing company, our books, we charge almost double in comparison to other publishers in Odisha. Knowingly, because if someone wants to buy a book, he'll buy it whatever you charge for it. Whatever means not in lakhs. For example, yesterday we released one book here in Puri Literary Festival. It is 870 or 80 pages. So the price is 1500 rupees. Usually for this book, other publishers in Odisha, they charge maximum 700 to 800 rupees. So my MRP is almost double. So that's how we make money. I accept it. So we charge high. We want people to buy books and make publisher and author viable so that they can make money, they can come with more books. Second thing is, what's your first question about how to make
Make the books more.
no, first question, how to make authors change makers. So what we are doing now in Odisha, we make authors. For example, someone is not writing, but he is good at some subject. We ask him to write a book or how to write a book. So we give ideas to authors to write. People in Odisha, not in Odisha, in regional languages, they think that books means poetry, short stories, novels, travelogue, all 4-5 kinds of books are there. So now what we are adding more kinds of books, more genres to our catalog, and we also make others to start writing, so that one engineer can write a book, one politician can write a book. We have done that. Odia journalists, they can write books on politics, on elections, on other topics. That's how we are making new authors also.
So that's a very valid point, what you were saying. But just to add to that, so our competition for Indian English language publishers, the competition is also coming from outside of India.
Yes, exactly. That is not.
So our problem is manifold. So you are not facing competition from outside of Odisha.
Yes.
We are being dumped with English books on the same subject, similar subjects from the US, from the UK, from Canada, from Australia, from all the English-speaking nations. They are, printing in China, dumping in India.
Yes.
That is what is happening.
Yes.
We are having to compete. So it's not what you are doing, we are also doing the same. So I've just published a book by the owner of a very large Ayurvedic company. Yes. He's written a book on healing. He had no idea, he didn't want to write about this. So I said, no, you have to write. This is your forte. This is what Ayurveda should do. So we are doing the same thing. But our competition becomes, suddenly there will be a US author who has written, some coin the term, and they put it out in, some 5 a.m. revolution, 9 a.m. whatever, and we have to compete with that. So what happens is Indian books in the same space by Indian authors, let's say a self-help book, an Indian author will not get picked up in an airport. You have a foreign name, they'll pick it up immediately. Yes. We still have this, fixation for authors in the self-help space. They know better. Why? Why? I mean, you look at popular culture in the US, their references to karma, the universal energy is far greater than ours. In their popular culture, their references to things which are intrinsic to our culture, as in the Indic culture, is far more than actually we disown many of the things that we do. We want to, buy books by them. So our competition, sir, is a different type. For English language publishers, that is a challenge.
Same competition in Odisha when selling books. For example, there are hundreds of bookstores in Odisha. Most of them are selling English books. There is not much space for Odia books. That is the only problem we have in Odisha.
No, so I have this discussion was about anxiety of publishers. Now I will tell you, and the next question will be about the anxiety of an author. Some young author like me. So I want to get it published by, let's say, some big publishing house or established publishing house. So difficulty is this, they just see your name, they Google it, ये कौन है, फिर वो सब्जेक्ट देखते हैं, सब्जेक्ट क्या है, और फिर इवन मेल्स का रिप्लाई भी नहीं आता है. रिप्लाई करने के लिए एक व्यक्ति होता है हर ऑफिस में, मेल का हाँ या ना का जवाब भी नहीं आता है. यू बीन वेटिंग फॉर 1 महीने 2 महीने इंतजार किया, फिर उसके बाद 4 लोगों को और मेल लिख रहे हैं. सो मेरी एंजाइटी कैसे दूर होगी?
अब ये वाला क्वेश्चन कोई नहीं ले रहा.
I'll tell you.
मेघा इज थैंक यू.
Yeah, Vidhi. ऐसा नहीं होता that we don't. Like one of my books, Lakshmi Panda, it's been published very recently, and this book, like the author got in touch with her first book, it was a cold message which was sent. It was the manuscript. When I read first 2 pages, it just gripped me. I knew this is, and it is absolutely, I don't know her, my boss doesn't know her, no one in the industry knows her. It just came out of the blue, but we did. And it is the author's work, then which works basically, you know, she's at age, she's putting efforts with us. It's a collaborative effort. I know it is difficult to crack the first thing, but a good synopsis of your work, a very powerful synopsis, a well-written cover page. These are things that it doesn't go unnoticed. But if you send me a mail saying, I would like to be published by Rupa, and I'm Westland, I have a problem. I will not publish you. I'm sorry.
No, you're absolutely right. Yeah. Because recently I got a submission which had Westland in its name, and it was addressed to me. I said, thank you very much.
Exactly.
But just to add to that, J.K. Rowling, all of us know J.K. Rowling, right? How many publishers rejected her? So it's someone like a Vidhi who eventually read it, saw the potential and published it. So Shivam, it's not a question of whether, so you get hundreds of submissions. You can't obviously publish every book. It depends on the strength of the idea, the strength of the writing. If the book doesn't grip me in the first 10 pages, that's it. Yeah. First 10 pages, if you don't have my attention, I will not be wasting more time to see if what happens later on. I mean, for a publisher, your initial hook is what makes the difference. So you have to make the publisher feel that this is a book where I want to take a punt, where I want to invest, I want to make this journey with the author. I need to feel convinced, right? Because it's a monetary decision as well. So if your book, for every author who's writing a book, their book is the best in the world. So you are starting with the premise that my book is the best in the world, and the publisher rejecting it makes the publisher the immediate villain. But that is not always the case. The publisher has many other constraints. हम भी चाहते हैं कि हम भी सोशल चेंज के एजेंट्स बने. हम भी चाहते हैं कि हम भी पूरा रेवोल्यूशन लाए देश में, दुनिया में सब कुछ करें. हम भी चाहते हैं कि बड़ी बड़ी बातें छोटी छोटी तरीकों से बोली जाएं, लेकिन पॉसिबल नहीं होता ना हमेशा. सबका विचार जो है वो भी चाहेंगे कि मैं भी एक अगला एक मार्केस बनूं या कोई ऐसा एक किताब बनाऊं जो पूरे विश्व में प्रसिद्ध हो जाए. हर जगह तो होगा नहीं ना.
इसमें एक और था कि there is a booming industry of agents जिन्हें आप पैसा दें वो अच्छी जगह पब्लिश करवा देते हैं. तो how do you counter that?
I mean, first of all, no legit agent is going to charge you money up front. Commission hota hai unka. So if they're doing, like if they're saying, oh, give us money and we'll maybe steer clear of them, you know. But honestly, like you said, like most of us will have inboxes which are flooded with manuscripts that people want us to publish, and again, like most of them will be have my name and Westland, and I'm not going to read that because I simply don't have the time. I'm not inclined to. After that, I'm cheesed off. And again, if it's a boring proposal, tell me why I should spend time reading that as opposed to the 50 other things that I have to read. In such a scenario, an agent is helpful sometimes. Mostly because one, they'll do at least one round of edits for your manuscript, which always helps the editor when they receive it in their inbox. Two, they'll help you pitch it better, right? Like, if it's a niche, where does it fit in? Also, agents also have, like, they build relationships with the editors. So in terms of pitching also, they'll know who to submit your manuscript to, as opposed to you just sitting here and like emailing 10 people, right? And you don't hear back from any. It's easier for an agent to hear back. So agents are not all bad. They'll also like, they can push the publishing house to get more money for you, honestly. But yeah, I mean, there are also people who say that, you know, you pay us this much and we're going to make this book viral, and like, and usually it's not the case. So you have to be a little discerning when you're choosing your agent. But agents are not villains all the time. In terms of your anxieties as an author, I'm going to play the devil's advocate here and speak for the publisher a little bit, because again, like most of us are like severely overworked, and most of us try to get back with a yes or a no. But also like 400 emails and like as many manuscripts take a lot of time to get through. And that's not the only thing we're doing. We're also like editing actual manuscripts that are going to become books. So like, I'm sorry, but yeah.
So maybe a good pitch is what.
Yeah, get an agent, maybe.
So get an agent to become agents of change. So,
Same here in Odisha, when most of the authors, they think that publishers are there, they will take us to the people, they will take us to it is their responsibilities. I agree with you. That nobody thinks that they are doing business. They are not doing any CSR or any social work for you. So in Odisha, there is another opportunity. There are many magazines, there are newspapers who, those you can find as dedicated page for literature. So usually what we ask authors, you first make a market for yourself by publishing your novel, or most of the magazines, they are publishing novels also. You can find novels published in many magazines in regional languages, not in Odisha, in many languages. So we ask them, first make a reader's proof. We will ask you for manuscript. You need not to approach us, we will approach you. Give your manuscript to us, we will publish your novel, or publish your article, or publish your stories, like that. That's how we get a good manuscript. And same, we are also facing the same problem that, like sir said, authors treat us like villains at times if we reject their manuscripts.
Here I'll also add in one bit about building your profile. You know, he said it absolutely right. You should build up your profile. If you want to be an author, if you want to be taken seriously, we will take you seriously if you do have a profile. You can, you know, to begin with, there are lots of digital platforms now. How about writing on that? How about, we recently got a pitch for someone who's been very popular on Wattpad. Now, these are things that you can, as an author, do at your end before putting everything in the publisher's wall. My parent company is Pratilipi. Now, Pratilipi does digital content. It's a platform where any author in the country can write in his language and reach out to readers who read the same language. Why not try something like that? And, you know, establish yourself, establish your social media, and whatever, and then maybe, you know, it will just be taken more seriously.
Just to add to what Vidhi said, regional languages. So I'll give a very interesting example. Audible. Audible books in India has practically the entire setup is bombed. English books, audio books, everyone thought no-brainer, you know, it'll do well. Look at Cuckoo on the other hand. Cuckoo FM does regional audiobooks, short content, long content, different kinds of content in the regional space. So they are buying rights from publishers like us of English books, and they are doing it as regional audio content. They are doing far better than, and the strategy and everything is far better than Audible's. So there is, so you know, that's an avenue for people like us. So, you know, you have a good English book where the content is good. So what we do is, you know, we tell them, listen, this is something where we think it's, you know, there might be interest in the regional space, do an audiobook. And interestingly, what they do is, they don't do the entire book. They will take one chapter. They do short format audio. And that really works. So, you know, everyone will have to think out of the box. Maybe for us, and we tried this, and we did, you know, a lot of short ebooks for Amazon. For Kindle, we did a lot of short ebooks during COVID. During COVID, they did very well. After COVID, once the bookstores and everything started reopening, that saw a very sharp dip. So, waste तो बहुत है, लेकिन उसको, you know, we'll also have to kind of as publishers take on the responsibility, think out of the box कि और क्या नया कर सकते हैं. जो आप लोगों ने जैसे एक फेस्टिवल किया, इस टाइप के जैसे जो फेस्टिवल्स हैं, क्या करते हैं कि ये एक, you know, this is also acting as an agent of change. यहाँ पर जो आ रहे हैं, चलो ठीक है, whatever, you know, जो यहाँ पर आके दर्शक आ रहे हैं, तो उन लोगों के दिमाग में कुछ तो चल रहा होगा ना, कुछ तो चिपकेगा, कुछ तो रह जाएगा. आप लोगों का जो पर्पस था वही तो है ना, लिटरेचर को आगे लेके जाना, नए थॉट्स को आगे लेके जाना, नए लोगों को, नए वॉइसेस को आगे लेके जाना. अब मैंने एक किताब करी थी, संगी हु नेवर वेंट टू शाखा, राहुल रोशन. अब जब वो किताब करी तो आई वाज रनिंग द रिस्क ऑफ गेटिंग ब्रांडेड कि भाई ये भी संघी है. So I said, so be it. I mean, you know, I am publishing and, you know, I people from the extreme left. I will not apologize about publishing any kind of book that I do, whether light, left, that's my choice. If there is an audience, if there is a readership, I will publish it. You deal with it. If you can't deal with it, that's your problem, not mine.
It was a great...
Most of the manuscript, authors are emotionally attached to their manuscript. But for a publisher, it's a product. So you have to sell it. You have to get a market for that.
No, it's true. Just to reiterate what everyone else has been saying, having a profile as an author is extremely important. It also makes it much easier for the editor who has finally read your manuscript from that slush pile and is pitching it. Because in an acquisitions meeting, it's not just editors sitting and talking about the book, right? Because then we just publish everything we read and liked. But you also have sales who are making their place felt, and you have marketing. And one of the foremost questions marketing and sales is going to ask is that, do they have a readership? Do they have a ready sort of audience who wants to engage with their content? Because all said and done, we are all working in publishing because we love books, but the book is a product. And it is a product that we have to sell. It is a product that has to make money because this is also our bread and butter. So, yeah.
It was a very interesting conversation. And to conclude this, what we will do is, as organizers, we will just make small reels of this video, of this conversation. Then we will circulate it among young authors, and it will be very helpful for them. Ironically, we'll have to circulate reels to make them write good books and get them published. And we are also looking for future collaborations with you, where we can provide a good platform to young authors, and we can even reach out to schools for children, we can reach out to universities and colleges, and we can provide platforms. We won't become any agent, but we will provide a platform, good platform for authors and also for publishers. Thank you so much.
Maybe you can do the Char Dham Literary Festival later on as well.
So that is we are planning. Yesterday we are planning. बट देखेंगे बद्रीनाथ में जगह ऐसी मिले देयर इज नो ताज. आई होप पटनायक सर इज सिटिंग, सो वो वहाँ पे ताज प्लान करेंगे.